MICHELE show, and we're coming to you live from Barbados. Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh my goodness, I am so excited this Wednesday afternoon. Welcome to everybody. I am Marcia Weeks, and this is the Marcia Weeks show. And I have a great guest lineup for you today. And I'm going to ask you, I always ask you to share and to let somebody know that we're on. Listen, the show today is just amazing. Lots of great information. We're going to talk about, basically, in short, how to live off the grid, right? And this is something that we hear people talking about a lot. And we have an amazing lady from Barbados, and she's going to be on. I'm going to ask you to share. Good afternoon, everybody. Can you just tell me where you're watching from? Afternoon. I can see that people are on, but I don't know where you're watching from. So just say good afternoon and tell me where you're watching from. And please share. This information is so important today. So important. You're going to need to let somebody know about it, because this is important. We see that what is happening with governments across the world. They are deciding to create these safe zones, and we don't know what is going to happen. And even if you're going to be in the safe zones, this is for everybody, vaccinated, unvaccinated, whatever, whoever you are. It's important, that we are able to find practical ways of living. So once again, I'm going to ask you to let me know where you're watching from and share. Let somebody know that we're on. All right. So we're going to ask you to share, and say good afternoon. I'm saying good afternoon to you. I want you to say good afternoon to me too. So you could just type in the comment section, or whether you're watching it on the step-by-step YouTube page, or you're watching it on Facebook, the Marcia Weeks Show Facebook page, or you're watching on my personal page. All right. Wherever you're watching from, I'm going to ask you to share. And Lee Bianca. Okay, hi Lee. I know Lee, and I know Lee would be interested in this kind of stuff today. Welcome, Lee. The others are what? Shy or busy, probably driving and watch and listening. Lee, great to have you. Lee, please share and let somebody know that others know about the show. This is going to be a very important show today. So I'm just giving you a couple minutes to share and let people know that we're on. Now, I have something that's coming up, an announcement that, Christian Weatherford. And good afternoon, Marcia. Oh, from St. Vincent? Are you from St. Vincent? He's telling me that the schools are back in St. Vincent, and they've had a COVID outbreak already. Wow. Oh man, our prayers go out to you guys in St. Vincent. That's something else. And I know November 19th is when the plan is to to fire the teachers that have not taken the job in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Wow. Oh, Pennsylvania. Awesome. Dorothy. Hi, Dorothy. I know Dorothy. Hi, Dorothy. Awesome, Dorothy. Great to have you. Dorothy, please share, because I know that Michelle is going to be sharing some amazing practical things that we can do as a people. We're seeing the ships are backed up, and they're saying that the food supply might not get in here right now. So this is something that we've got to get happening, because we don't know what's going to happen to our food supply. We don't know we don't know. We see the energy prices going up. So I want you to care about somebody and to care and share. This is important. Care and share. Lee, I hope you're sharing. Welcome again, Dorothy, Christian. Yes, we're standing with the teachers in SVG. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Yes, good to see you, Dorothy. Good to see you. Dorothy, please share. Let somebody else know that we're on, because some amazing things are going to be said today. This is a practical show. We're looking beyond the pandemic. We've gone past whether who is going to take the vaccine and who is not going to take it. We've gone past that. We're talking now about survival, because we believe at the end of the day, what these powers that be thereafter is humanity. They're trying to destroy the planet, destroy people. And so the important thing is to find a way to live, right? Find how are we going to live. So this is a practical show. Oh, tokens. Hello, tokens. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're welcome. Oh, wonderful. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Tokens, have you shared? Have you shared tokens? This is important. We are going to share because we care. We care. We care. So we're going to share. Yeah. So please let somebody know. I could see the numbers are going up. That's good. That's good. And let somebody know. Send it along. Send it along. Let somebody know. Well, I can't wait, because we were chatting in the green room, and I almost missed the time to start, because this is so interesting. Let me just bring her right in. Oh my goodness, Miss Michelle Edwards, Jennifer Michelle Edwards. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so grateful to have you here. How are you doing today? Michelle, you're muted. Are you muted, Michelle? Check to see whether or not you're muted. Okay, you're moving now. Okay, say speak, and let's make sure the microphone is up and going. Hey, tokens is from Trinidad. Wonderful, wonderful tokens. This is a great show that we're doing today, and we're just praying that the technicals will work. Man, we tested all of this, so we know that it's going to work today. And as we wait, please share it. Please share. Hi, Michelle. Say hello to me. We want to make sure your audio is working. And so we're not hearing Michelle. We're not hearing Michelle. Yes, we're not hearing you. Tokens, great, 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 great. Great to see you, tokens, and everybody else who's on. Great to see you. And we're just taking care of some technical issues there, and we'll be ready to go as soon as Michelle. Let me hear you say hello. We were chatting up a storm just before we came out here, so we know that all is well. Yes, I hear some sound there. I hear something popping. So say hello to the people, Michelle. All right. So she's still working on it. She's working on it, working on it, and we know that it's going to work. Yes. Yes. Anybody who's interested in living off the grid, let me know. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comment section. You're interested in living off the grid. Yes. Okay. Someone is saying me. Yep, yep, yep. Yes, tokens, tokens. Yes, we need to. We need to. We definitely need to. We definitely need to. Of course, we need to. Of course, we need to. Let me see if Michelle is ready. Let me just see if Michelle is ready as yet. Yes, I can hear some sound. Go ahead, Michelle. Say hello. Certainly, Avoda from Jamaica saying certainly. Say hello, Michelle.
Oh,
Yes, I can hear something.
Marcia, are you having the
Yes,
same?
I'm hearing you
Marcia,
now.
hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you now, Michelle. That's wonderful. Well, we'll keep it. We'll
Okay,
keep it in this format. That's fine.
okay, okay.
Okay.
I can try going like this as well.
No, the other way is
Yeah,
fine. Let's
I
hear
can't
you. Let's hear
see.
you.
Are you still hearing me? Are you
Yes,
hearing
I'm
me?
hearing you. Keep talking.
Good afternoon. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you. It's breaking up a little bit, but we're gonna keep going. Yes, Michelle. We're happy to have you
Okay,
today.
so thank you. I'm beginning. I want to begin to say that we need to think off of the grid. With life and beginning small, but beginning it is a huge word. It's a small thing, but it's a big word. Discernment of the times that we're living in, and to just be one step ahead of everything that's going on. Use whatever we have available to us. Any size of land can produce a yield. Size of storage area or container can be used. I want to just a prudent man with insight, danger coming, and he prepares and makes plans for it. Proverbs 22:3. And discerning the hour in which we live, First Chronicles 12:32, is basically what spurred us on. A very little bit of a background about myself and my husband. Um, I'm a Barbadian by birth, mother of two lovely girls, and we have a granddaughter. And my husband and I have been married for 44 years nearly, and he's also Bajan. I have a background of nursing, and he has a background in shipping and planting. So we have been honing our skills for a long time. I want you to know that we're just basic, simple people, so anyone can accomplish. It was after going on a mission trip to Haiti, things became apparent to us that in life, some things have to be experienced. We went to Haiti just after the had happened there, and our stating as the airplane flew in, it was covered in tarpaulins, blue tarpaulins, and when we landed, we realized that these people, their job in life was just to forage for food, and we realized we were on a medical mission, and some 400, 500 came every day to the little makeshift clinic that we had made. And my husband held a outdoor clinic for farmers, and he showed farmers how to grow crops and how to diversify things and not all grow the same thing. And simple little things that we would take for granted, we taught. And we only taught what we learned ourselves. So that was a first-hand experience of what it is like to be able to have no running water and no electricity
Wow.
and to live off grid, so to speak. We watched them build their houses like that. It was
Mhm.
incredible. So we came home from that and we needed some. And so we took a vacation went to Nashville to
Mm-hmm.
crisis response international,
Yes.
as CRI. Is I'll just very well quickly, Marcy, a bit about that. It's a disaster relief organization that is able to integrate the local, state, federal response efforts in and outside the US when needed. CRI and trains and mobilizes volunteers from communities, churches, and other independent organizations for the purpose
Okay. Hi, Michelle.
Sorry, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we lost.
We
Yes,
lost we lost you a little bit there.
I'm back.
Continue, Michelle.
Yeah, yeah, right. So basically, we went to CRI and we learnt about preparing refuges, communities of refuge, and basically what that means is how to prepare to live a lifestyle of preparedness in your family setting, in your
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood, in your community of in whatever community you are mostly in, for your church. So that is basically what we began to do in 2014 on our return home, which was just to start living prepared. And
Yes.
how did that look? Well, we have these slides here, and we started to grow vegetables out of any receptacle garden. And you can see that one has a palm nursery. And so we have a garden littered in things that we could eat, some cabbage, some lettuce, some tomatoes. We started with what we had in drums, and you can see a bit of lawn there. And so, we tried.
Hold a
There
minute,
are the lovely cabbages
Michelle.
that we got
Michelle,
out
I
of
wanted
pot.
to. Michelle, can you hear me? Michelle, can you hear me? I wanted to know
Yes,
this lovely
yes, I
cabbage
can.
heads. These lovely cabbage heads came out of your backyard garden.
Yes, they came out of the pots, the little black pots. Yes, in our front garden, actually.
Ah,
That was in our front yard.
so you grow
Mhm.
you grow a lot of your stuff in pots.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the next slide shows you actually just
Okay, so you're breaking up really badly, Michelle.
don't have large areas of land. That is what I want to stress. Have a size land you have, a storage area, you start small and start to live. So there, go back to that slide. The phone is okay. This now
Okay, I'm hearing you. It's just that it's
any
breaking up a
better
bit.
now?
It's breaking up. It's breaking up a bit, and I'm not sure how the others how they're hearing. Let me just and anybody, is it playing good
Hello,
properly for
Marcia.
everybody else?
Any better?
Keep speaking. You have to keep speaking. Is it breaking up for anybody who is listening, or is it just me? It's broken up. It's broken up.
I can leave and I can Marcia, I can leave and come back in.
Okay, keep going. You sound much better right now.
Should I leave and come back in?
No, but you're sounding good right now. Can you hear me? Just keep talking now, and then let me let you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. On Sunday, we were able to pick all those fruits and things that you see there, the passion fruits. It's on the slide there, the passion fruits and the guava and the cherries. And all of those things we were able to pick. And so we breakfast pretty much this morning. I had breakfast with cherries and made our limes, and we can do passion go smoothies. And for lunch is plantain and breadfruit, all produced in our own yard. Preservatives are another way of preserving fruits. When you have a lot of fruit, you can preserve them and keep them frozen or pickled out of surplus, because you won't always surplus. So you start to live with those types of things. You just need in terms of the seasonings or the, for instance, right there in front of you is some cinnamon bark that we got from Grenada from a friend, and some nutmeg. And so we keep them to spice what we're cooking.
Right.
So there's simple little things like that you can begin to do, that you don't need to go to the supermarket for everything. That's pretty much how we live now.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So
when
the fruits and vegetables, you preserve some of them.
This is how we begin. Yes, and we keep that, and we can also give it away. People give us something, we give them back something, so it becomes a trade-off, an exchange. So we're alleviating ourselves of the need for money. When there is down the road, he will meet breadfruit. So he brings breadfruit for us, and we sell something else in return. So bartering comes back to life, which we don't really money isn't going to buy anything. It's going to be so expensive, and we're not. There's some situations where they're talking about people not being allowed to go into stores to buy things. So bartering is going to be huge, in my opinion, in our opinion.
In this time, we have to do a lot of bartering.
The other yes, we do actually, and I'll tell you a story. We wanted to go to dinner, tens of hours, to a posh restaurant, and we happened to know was in the market for some palm trees in return for giving us dinner. And they said absolutely. So we went and had dinner for 6 of us at a nice restaurant, and we delivered the palms the next day.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's a good sign of bartering. Yeah. And that comes naturally to Barbadians. I find when we go to St. John, into the community there that we work with, we take up something that we know they need, and they have something that we need, and we just swap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Michelle, someone was wondering whether Michelle, can you hear me? If you should move to another part in the house, because it could be the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Someone is wondering what?
If you go close to the box.
What are they wondering?
If you go close to the Wi-Fi box, are you close to your Wi-Fi box? And just let me say to everybody, we came on and tested and was having a great conversation before the show started. So I'm really, let me just apologize to everybody for what's happening. But we tested and did as much as we could do. Michelle, if you take off your camera, Michelle, take off your camera and let's see if it might turn off your camera and just keep your mic on. Yes, let's try that. We're going to take off the camera. Okay, can you talk now? Take off your camera, keep speaking. Start speaking. Michelle?
Okay, are you still hearing me now?
Yes, I'm
Yes,
hearing you. Sounding
are you
better.
hearing
Keep
me?
going. Yes, I'm hearing you. Keep going. So yeah, keep going.
Okay, so right, yeah, yeah. So where were we? We were talking about the bartering, um, and that is something
Yes.
that we use a lot in our lives. So we have a lot of that going on, and that saves a lot of money as well. In terms of the rainwater harvesting, rainwater in St. George, I'm sure across the island it's much the same, and that water we collect. So
Okay.
whether
So if I could,
it
let me
snow it
just,
runs
Michelle,
around the yard.
let me just summarize for those who are watching. So, so far, Michelle is saying that what they do a lot is that they try to eat from their garden, and they have Michelle, they have a front yard garden, and not a lot of space, she's saying, but she grows a lot of vegetables in pots. So like these beautiful cucumbers that you're seeing here were grown in pots. And Michelle is saying, and here are the pots, and this is in our front yard, guys. That she has this lovely lettuce we can see there. And I'm not sure is there's tomatoes, actually tomatoes there. And she has some on a little table here. And what Michelle is saying is that it doesn't matter how small your yard space is, because it's important for you to be able to feed yourselves. You can plant wherever, get a little pot and you can plant in the pot. And these lovely cabbage heads were planted in pots in the front garden, guys. This is not from any, big farmer. Michelle is just a regular person, and her husband, and this was from the front garden. And just Sunday morning, she harvested this from her garden. Guavas and pomegranate. I love guavas. Mango, fruit, limes, passion fruit, and actually she was telling me a story that this morning she went out and had breakfast from the garden. The idea behind living off the grid is that you're self-sufficient, right? So you can eat, you can go ahead and you can eat from your garden. And when she's reaped a lot, then she makes preserves. Okay, she makes preserve. Here's this stewed guava. She's preserved it, hot pepper sauce, pickled onions. Okay, so she makes preserves. And Michelle also said that she does a lot of bartering, right? And she believes that this is the way to go. Bartering is a way to go. That we have to think differently, because we don't know what will happen in terms of money. Will we have enough money? So we have to change our mindset and think about bartering. All right. So this is what she's saying. And if you're just joining us, you're watching the Marcia Week show, and what we're talking about today is living off the grid. And if you notice, we started with food, right? We started with food because it is going to be so important. People are going to think, okay, but we're not going to be close to the supermarket. Or what if we're not allowed to go in the supermarket? Can we live off our land? And Michelle is showing us, yes, we can. In fact, you can have your front garden. This, as I said, these cabbage heads were grown in the front garden, right? So let me go back to Michelle, and Michelle is telling us, talking to us about this rainwater. So go ahead, Michelle. Let's hope that the audio is much better. Go ahead, Michelle. Right. So this is the rainwater, Michelle, that was filtered, and that your husband is filtering the rainwater, and you actually were filtering this on Sunday morning. Yes, and it seems okay. So Michelle, now I know that your mic is muted now. So if you will unmute, yes, we're unmute. Okay, so Michelle, you're muted, so you have to unmute your mic so that we can hear you. Okay, she's still muted, but she was talking about filtering the rainwater. And if you notice that, she's using a piece of white cloth to filter the rainwater, you would know that over the weekend we just had a lot of rain. A lot of rain fell over the weekend, and so she's using the cloth to filter the rainwater, as you can see in that picture. Kazara is asking Michelle to tell us how she deals with pests. Yes, as soon as she's able to come back on, let me just apologize to everybody who's come on to watch and to hear today. We came on at 10 o'clock and we tested, and we tested everything today, and it was working perfectly. And we were actually chatting just before the show. So it's strange that it's still that it's giving so much trouble at this point. But regardless, I mean, we do have the slides here, and I could show the slides for her, and hopefully that you'll be able to get something from that. Let me just try to reach her to see what might be the challenge, because she's still muted. Michelle is still muted.
Okay, am I better now? Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you
Or,
now. So we were at the rainwater. So can you tell us about the
okay.
rainwater?
Oh, yes. Yes, so as we know, rain falls regularly here, and so we collect containers as small as jugs, as you can see there, using a muslin cloth and straining the water, and then we put it into the various size of containers for later use. The containers that we have all over the yard, you will see some of the photos coming up. Marcia, you could go through, scroll through quickly into the other, where the tanks are, where we have water tanks with water. These are all other plants grow, make the pasta and the breadfruit, and yes, and the passion fruit vines, the sweet mangoes and coffee and all of that. So here is the guttering off of the roof. We have taken the guttering where it would normally run across around the roof on the eaves. We've taken the guttering off and headed it down into some 1,000-gallon tanks and hidden it with nice plants. These two aren't so hidden. These two are on the opposite side of the garden, and they are elevated somewhat, and they are also taking water off that east side of the house into there. And then we have created, I think there's a write-up on it, Maria, where you can see that there's a little bit of a write-up on thanks. You pipe into there. And the the situation is that they are plumbed in such a way that we're, and we can use a pump to pump it into the house and use rainwater instead of water from government. So if the water was to go off at any length of time, we would have quite a large supply of water for plants, for animals, and for our own uses. and then
Mm-hmm.
we would use that water, that rainwater that we used, and make potable water. And if you could boil it, you would boil it if you still had electricity. And if you didn't, you would put a few drops per gallon. I think it's 4 to 5 drops per gallon of water, of chlorine. And you would make potable water that you could drink out of pretty much any water. It could be your toilet tank water. And you could make that into potable water that you could survive on until you got back on a supply, if you were going to get back a supply of
Mm.
water.
So
So
you're saying, Michelle,
to
that we can make the
to
water
say that,
potable.
sorry,
You're
what,
saying that
Marcia? I didn't get
you're
that.
saying that all we need is some
Didn't hear
drops of
that.
chlorine in the water to make it potable.
Yes, and obviously sieving the water through the cloth, any cloth takes out any of the sediment or anything that may be, particles in the water as well. But I'll have to tell you, water is purest forms of water still than tap. If you were to check um, the quantity of things in our water coming out of our taps, it would be a bit of a shock to us. So we would be drinking far more pure water, fresh water, than others who are just relying on the tap water.
And in
Rainwater
yours,
is from
Michelle, a
God,
question for
and it
you.
is a fabulously.
So a question for you, Michelle. Are you saying right now where you're in St. John, you use this is the water that you use to water the plants, to cook with, and to drink. You cook with rainwater. You drink rainwater. You
Yes,
yeah, yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Hmm.
yes. Bathing it, washing it, wash clothes in it. We do everything with the rainwater when it's
So
often
okay. So you use the
five
rainwater even to shower.
goes off, water goes. So we're using tank water quite often, all household, including all the watering of those plants that between.
Wow. And so your plant, all of the watering is done by rainwater. I wonder if we're all listening and hearing this.
That
You know,
next picture. Hmm. Um, there is another way of collecting water. It's a bit slower, but if you were to get plastic and put it on your lawn, and collect the dew and the rainfall from a night, and then hold the plastic and put what contents that were on the plastic into a bucket, you would be surprised to see how much water you would collect from that as well. There are many different ways of harvesting rainwater. What you're looking at now is a small storage room in our house under the stairs where we have kind of collie-foxed a few shelves. There's a large first aid container full of bandages and medicines, and we recycle all of the things that we have in those by giving them out, or using them for ourselves, so that the dates remain constant and current. So there in there would be the very back of that room is the tools, which are things that you would need for cutting down trees and saws and hammers and different things like that. We must have a good supply of duct tape. Duct tape fixes a multitude of things. All those containers we have amassed over time, and we just keep rice and flour, sugar and lentils and pasta, all in those containers. And then we would have the tinned stuff on the shelving. We just done distribution this weekend to 12 families in St. John. So our shelves look bare, but they will be filled up again, and we will have at any given time maybe on the outside of 3 months supply of things, not just for ourselves, because it's not about you and yourself and your family. It's about your neighbors and your community and helping each other. If you were preparing a place of refuge or a community of refuge, you would want to have enough to feed many mouths. And that's the plan behind storing food in that kind of capacity. Another slide has a picture of something called Mylar bags. Mylar bags are very well, they're very secure, and you put in the little oxygen absorbers. They're little packages that sometimes you'll see when you buy something that takes all the oxygen out of it. So you we fill them with rice and flour and sugar and salt and things that we want to store over a very long period of time. We seal it with a sealer, a vacuum sealer, and that then has a lifespan of about 15, 20 years. And we've tested some, which we put aside in 2015. We tested some, the flour was rising just as normal. Everything, the rice, the pasta, all keeping very well from 2015. We tested 1 or 2 bags. So that's another way that long-term storage can work. So you're not flying into a panic when things become short. Those bags can be purchased on Amazon, and you can have them shipped to you. This is a very basic, right under the Mylar bag is showing you a basic Sawyer water filter, which can filter thousands of gallons of water. We've used them. They've been used in mission trips in Haiti and in Africa. And basically you get 2 buckets, and everything comes in the kit, and it is a do-it-yourself quick fix kit. And you can have your water running from one container to another. You can spigot it off and use it like a tap. You can put a cover on the bucket and keep all the bugs and things out of it. This is a very simple water filter that has been used across the globe in very areas where the disasters and long periods of time there's no water. And you can take any water and filter it again and make drinking water from that filter, that Sawyer filter there,
Yeah, I
that
have a
system.
question. We have some
And
questions,
there's your
Michelle.
good old cake.
Michelle, we have some questions. Okay, so
Yeah.
someone is
Yeah.
asking,
Okay.
and I want to just thank those that are watching for bearing with
Okay.
us and sticking with us. I think it's getting better. We can hear a bit better. Nicole Watt is asking, would those bags, the Mylar bags, would they be able to hold up against products that carry an expiry date?
With the Mylar, what is the question about the Mylar bag?
Yes, if it will be able to hold up against products that carry an expiry date.
If they're pre-made, not hearing you, Marcia.
You're not hearing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put the question on all the questions they come up on the screen, and you can, as you see the questions,
Okay,
you
will
can
those
answer.
bags hold up against cat? Okay, that carries an expiry date. Yes, all products carry an expiry date, but when packed in those Mylar bags with the oxygen absorbers, you remove all the air out of it. It comes completely vacuumed, and that stays for 20 years guaranteed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They come
Um,
sizes, so you can pack up to 5 pounds of rice, 5 pounds of flour, or you whatever you do pack, and you put the oxygen absorber in, it does that. Where do you get the drums to collect the water? Okay, would you believe that we can go to Chafet? The ice cream at Chafet? Well, they bring it in buckets with lids. And you can go to Chafet in Barbados and buy the buckets with the lids for a couple of dollars. And they're perfectly clean, even. There are not other places that do pool maintenance that have chlorine in large buckets and drums, and that's where we get those other drums and buckets with lids, screw-on lids. So yes, a lot of places bring things in, and they have the containers, and they want to get rid of them. So you spend small amounts of money to get those containers. How do we deal with pests? Okay, um, we don't use a lot of spray for we don't get a lot of pests. I would have to ask my husband because that's his forte. But we don't get a lot of pests here, and we don't spray with insecticides at all. So I'll have to ask him his remedy for that. That's his area of strength. But we don't get any of the yellow fly on the cabbage. We use a lot of um, organic soil mix that he made himself, and we just don't get that. Where can we get them? Get what? What was he? Where can we get them? What's
they're
them?
talking about asking about the mylar bags. Where can you get the mylar bags?
Okay, they come. Yeah, yes, we purchased them on Amazon and had them shipped to Barbados. Unfortunately, some things have to happen that way. We did get them that way through Amazon.
Mhm. Okay, so continue, Michelle. You can continue.
Okay, so the other area that we would want to try to reduce our costs and our charges and our need for it would be the electricity. So after the water, and we've harvested our water, and we've got our bucket there. You see there the Chafet bucket underneath there with all that kit comes with it. So you don't have to worry, you're just getting the bits. And after you've dealt with the water, another way you can reduce your costs of electricity would be your Lucy lights, the Lucy solar light systems. And there they are, they're inflatable. So they pack and they go with you. And they also are very easy to inflate. And all you do is in the day, we have 12 hours of wonderful sunshine. So you put them outside and they hold, they have a little solar panel on them. And so they hold charge from that. And then at night, you just don't burn your lights. You just turn on the solar Lucy light. And it is more than enough to read by. It lights your way, and what we do is we have several of them, and we actually put them in each room, and don't worry with the electricity. So we just use that light to cook by, do what I'm doing with the solar light. And there was an agent here, and I did see some at PriceSmart, although they were inferior. They come from Walmart in the States, and they can run you about 15, 16 US dollars, but they last. We have had some now for 7 years, and they're still as good as new.
So, Michelle, just let
Lucy
me
lights,
pause. Michelle, just
and they
pause and
have different
Michelle, pause and let me just do a little recap for those who might have had a difficulty hearing, because this is so interesting, guys. Because what Michelle is actually saying is that with these Lucy lights, you can use it throughout your house at night. And because a lot of us think that in order to go solar, that we need to spend a whole lot of money to buy the grid, to put on top of the roof, and that's thousands of dollars. But we can get these Lucy lights, which is about probably 30 Barbados dollars, and we can put them out in the day into the sun, because we have all of the sun in Barbados, and then we can bring them in at night and put them in the rooms at night to light up the house. What are your thoughts
Yes,
about that? Those that are listening, what are your
yes.
thoughts about it? Nicole, Kazaya, Camille, what are your thoughts about that? That we can actually buy these single lights, and so these are called Lucy lights, in particular. And what are your thoughts about that? That's really, really interesting, very interesting. And back up to the water. What Michelle is saying is that, I mean, these buckets here, these are, she got them for free from Chefette, because they buy
Obviously, we can also use make our own candles
we can even, oh, Michelle, you're saying we can even make our own candles.
from Chefette.
Wow, this is awesome.
Yes, we can
Awesome.
make our own candles and use paint. And yeah, so there's lots of ways that we can come off the grid inexpensively, because I do know people who have put their whole house in solar panels and come off the electric grid and actually make current and sell it back to the light and power. But you have your first outlay of that is 60,000-70,000 Barbados dollars, which is tax deductible. But I'm in that bracket. I don't own my own home, and I won't be going to all that trouble to be doing that here, when I can just do small things like the solar light, water harm, and I can reduce my costs. Yep, and we can pack them in our bags in our car. I've got to tell you about the thing that excites me the most, because we have to start thinking broad and wide. We may not even be able to stay in our normal places of living, and if we had to go and live somewhere in the uh, in the land somewhere, we would have to walk with what we could use. So these little lights and these buckets and these things are all easy to transport, and we could move with them house somewhere. The point I'm making in this conversation is have to think differently how we've been thinking, and we are so technological these days, and everything is a cell phone and a computer. But in days gone by, our forefathers had to live off the land, and we need to go back to that. We need to think about what that looks like for us and how we can we can do it better, because we have more things to our available to us now to be able to make that happen. What type is best for outdoors? Oh, those solar Lucy lights can be used in the sea water. They can be used at sea. They can be used outside, inside. They are all season lights. They are plastic. They are inflatable, and they don't have a special place to be or not to be. They can be used anywhere. Someone was asking. So those lights are as my husband would say, the bombshell. The bombshell. He loved. And those containers under the Lucy lights. Oh, I forgot to say about Lucy light. It has different strengths of light, so you can have a very bright light, dim light if you're having your light. Flashing. If you flash a light and send an emergency message, you could actually put it on flash, and it would do the flashing light for you. A simple press of a button at the top, and it's on, and it's a press when it's off. So go look for them. They're really awesome. We took a lot to Haiti, and they were thrilled. In the volcano, a lot of lights went down to St. Vincent. They are just so easy to pack and move with as well. They're in nice little boxes like that. Containers, you can never have enough plastic containers. You might say that our house looks a bit crazy, but though you have always got a need for a container, and most of these containers we have bought something in from Price in the past, nuts and whatever, biscuit crackers, what screw bottles, and just clean them up. You've got there to put all manner of things in. Don't be ashamed of them. If you buy them from store stuff, you just do it our way, this way instead, this kind of prepared way we make use of everything. Don't throw away anything. Presentation there. Over the years, we invested in generators, diesel one. It's always good to have containers of diesel and gas in the garage for things that when you don't have gas, you can't, the petrol station is not open. So you can still get from here to there in a car if you had a car. The diesel and the electrical the gas, sorry, and the
Hi, Michelle. We're clear. Can't hear you. I know that this is great
diesel.
information. We lost you a bit there, Michelle. You were talking to us about the gasoline generator, and yes, so important that we're glued on. Thanks to those who are still watching. I know you are still watching because you want to know, and I want to get this information to you. So thank you for still watching. I'm seeing Avoda from Jamaica is saying great information here. Thanks very much. Yes. So people are watching from all over. Good to see that people are on. People are watching on YouTube. Some people are watching on my Facebook page. Some are watching on the Marcia Week Show page. So it's just great to see that people are on. Michelle has come back on, and we are pushing through this. Yes, Michelle is back on. Okay. Let's see if we can hear her again. But we are pushing through because this is so important. This could save a life. So go ahead, Michelle.
Yes, so aerators come in very handy if you're going to be off electricity for a couple of days or at a time. It's an investment, but it's a good one over time. It's worth it to put that in place. I would recommend get smaller ones. These were ones that we bought a long time ago, and we just but his husband
Okay.
designed for us this cooking with a pot on it, and that is how we do a lot of our cooking to avoid using gas, bottle gas on the stove. I was telling Marcia before the show, briquettes that you can get for a barbecue. You see these stands? It's just a poles, then heat and a great grill. And that is where our meals are cooked most evenings outdoors. It has a handle to hold it by the grill. And the sea grate is cut up into brick, like, proper manageable size, and put down at the bottom. And we then put some old cardboard boxes, pieces down at the bottom underneath the sea grate and light it, and it just will ignite and stir the fire up, and it does very nicely. And we cook fish, pork, chicken pieces, steak, pumpkin, zucchini squash, potatoes, sweet potatoes, anything and everything goes on there, and your meal is finished. No set of pots to wash up, nothing like that. Just meal ready to go, and it tastes awesome. Casuarina wood that trees have been cut down to is another good source, but sea grate is awesome. And most of us know where sea grate can be found. And when the old branches, the bugs have got it or whatever, you just cut it off and put it in the fire. So that's a great way
Yeah.
of cooking,
Someone
and
is
it's fun
asking.
too.
There's a question here. There's a
Now, where do
question
we
here
get that
for
cooking
you.
base? Now, that cooking base is made. Yeah, that cooking base is made by my husband. So we would have to get dimensions, and but basically it's made of cement, and it's poured in there with steel, and the on the top. So, and it acts as a feeder in the morning, because I feed the wild birds out there. So they come on that, and I feed the birds that way. Um, and of course, the coal pot comes from sea land. I said, heard that we had some people on the show from Vinci, and I want to know all the Vinci, because my husband and I have been there several times every year for the past years that we were married. We love St. Vincent and we love Beckway. And so our coal pot hails from Kingstown. Yeah,
Wow.
and you can get them here. We can have them brought up. Someone can bring them up for us, and we can have pots. And Trinidad also. Trinidad has them as well. Mhm.
So they can get the cold pots. The cold pots
So we've
are
talked
in
about a lot of
St.
things on this
Vincent
show. I don't know if we.
and Trinidad. I know that they're in
The
Jamaica
coal
as
pots,
well.
yeah, they come out of. Yes. So we would have to try to source some from St. Vincent. We close down. Um, and the regular schoolers, they do come up here once a week, and so we can organize to find a way to get a number of them up. Had said, Marcia, that we were looking just over $100 made us to get ways that start by coming off the grid. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was what we do in our cars. In my car at any given time is a bug out bag. It's what I call a bug out bag. In that bag is a number of clothing, comfortable clothing, comfortable shoes, and basic first aid kit, basic hygiene, toothpaste, soap, that type of towel, sheet kit. And I take that everywhere I go. And in the back of my car, things like that. Also, all documents. Your most important documents should be any time with you. It must be kept in a safe place in your home, but be prepared that you are going to need to carry your important documents with you if you have to go away from your home for any length of time. So I keep that bag ready to go in the back. Also, is food. Another container is food that I may need. And now I recycle that by giving it away all the time and having a new one put in them. So there is always something I can subsist on in my car if I am stuck anywhere for any length of time and couldn't get home. These things are things that we would not have thought about before, things that maybe we've only read and watched in adventure movies, but it may be coming to a place very soon. We need to educate ourselves. Knowledge is power, and God always warned his people, always sent warnings from for his people. Throughout the Bible, he warned them of impending disaster and told them how to get ready. There are even recipes in the Bible that you can find of ways that God told people to spoil
Yes.
cakes and bread that they could live on, and he told them how to store up water that they would need for
For survival. Well, Michelle, I just
us.
want to thank you
We
so much
have to think
for
differently.
presenting. I want to thank you for presenting. And what I promise you, what we're going to do when we get
I'm
off.
sorry about the
Yes, we had some technical issues today, but people stayed on because this is so important, Michelle. And I thank you for pushing through as much as we tested so much before we started, but it's technical, these things happen. So, what we're going to do, Michelle, when we come off, I am going to see if we can, when we're not live, if you could record this in about 15 minutes by yourself. I'm not on, and let's see if we are going to be able to put it out for them, because I know this is something that is so important that we can get right across the region, the Caribbean region. Everybody in the Caribbean, we know about coal pots. I know that it's in Jamaica and we used to cook on it. And here's my friend from St. Vincent is saying that whenever I'm ready for the coal pots, he'll be able to help me to get it. And Jamaica, my friend from Jamaica from Aboda Productions is saying old car rims can be used as coal pots as well. And what I found interesting is you telling me about the grape tree that
yeah.
we can cut it up and use the grape tree, which I didn't even know that that wood would be so can be used for cooking, and that it would be recommended. I have a big tree in my yard, a big grape tree in my yard, so that would come in very, very, very handy. But what we're going to do, we're going to close off here, guys, but I wanted to thank everybody for sticking it out with us. And I'm going to discuss with Michelle about, as we come off, about recording something for you guys, and then we're going to send it out. All right. So, but thank you for watching today,
Mhm,
and look for us again on Saturday.
mhm.
Come next Wednesday, we'll have somebody from Hanover in Jamaica showing you how they live off the grid. Right. So we're going to continue with this kind of programming. Thank you all so much for watching today. Michelle, thank you, thank you, thank you. And guys, look and watch on my page, and we're going to put it out for you. All right, just hang in there. We're going to get it out for you
You're
because I know you want to see it. They stayed on, Michelle, because it's so important. All right, so we're going to sign off because we're having because of the technical issues, and then we will upload something for you. Thank you all so much, Princess Stella, everybody who came on, Dorothy, everybody, Hope, Lewis,
welcome.
yes, and Camille. I could tell Camille was into it a lot. Nicole, Kazoya, everybody who came on, thank you so very much, my friend. Christian Weatherford from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, everybody who came on, and Lee, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you so much.